Oh, hello, my wonderful Heart and Hand students. Milo and I are just reading a book. And as you know, reading is one of my favorite ways to pass the time. So I hope you guys are doing a lot of reading during this time at home, and I would love to read you this great story that I'm reading. So grab your favorite drink. I've got my tea here. You can grab a glass of juice or some hot chocolate or some water. And let's start this read aloud.
Cherries and Cherry Pits by Vera B. Williams. Bidemi lives on the floor above me. We visit back and forth a lot. Bidemi loves to draw, so when she opens the door, I'm often standing there with a marker of some kind or color she doesn't have yet. She always tries a new marker right away. First, she makes a dot on the paper. Then, she draws a line out from that dot. As she draws, she tells the story of what she is drawing. She always starts with the word this. This is the door to the subway. This is the door to the subway, and this is a man leaning on the door. I hope he doesn't fall out when the door opens all of a sudden. His face is a nice face, but it is also not so nice. He has a fat wrinkle on his forehead. It's like my mother's wrinkle. It's from worrying and worrying, my mother says. And his neck is thick, and his arms are thick with very big, strong muscles. His shirt is striped blue and white, and his skin is dark brown, and in his great big hands he has a small white bag. This man looks so strong, I think he could even carry a piano on his head. But he is only carrying this little white bag. I wonder what can be in that little bag. I can just see that man going home to his house and walking up the stairs and opening the door to his living room. His living room has a pretty lamp and he switches it right on. His kids are in the kitchen. Dee Dee, Dennis, Dwayne, Dory, he calls. I got something here for you. Then they come out. One sits on one of his legs and one on the other. One leans right in between. And Dee Dee, she climbs round and back and leans over his shoulder. Then he opens the bag and pulls out a cherry. He puts one cherry in each of their mouths, and another, really red cherries too. And there they sit eating the cherries and spitting out the pits, eating cherries and spitting out the pits. And before you can even ask Bidemi any questions about that story, such as how come the names of all the man's children begin with D, she has another piece of paper ready and is drawing. This is the train seat, and this is a tiny white woman sitting on the train seat. She is almost as short as I am, but she is a grandmother. On her head is a black hat with a pink flower, like a rose flower. It has shiny green leaves, like the leaves in my uncle's florist shop. On her feet are old shoes. These are the buckles, and in her lap is a black pocketbook, and in the pocketbook is a bag. You can't really see the bag, but I'll draw it anyway just so you can be sure it's there. It's a little brown paper bag, all twisted up tight. When this woman gets off the train, I know just where she's going. She's going to hold tight onto the banister and go up the stairs. She's going to hold onto the wall as she walks along the street. And the door to her house is going to be right next to the shoemaker's store. She really likes to hear the shoemaker's machine going round and round and his hammer going tap, tap. She waves to him when she goes by his window. Then she climbs up the stairs and opens her door. There's just one room. It has everything she needs. This is the sink, and here's the geranium plant on the window. And on the swing over the plant is her parrot. The parrot is so excited to hear her coming in the house. He is calling, "Little lady, little lady." The parrot is red and yellow and green. It's blue too. I brought something for you, the little woman tells the parrot. She untwists that little brown bag all twisted up tight. She holds it out to the parrot. The parrot takes out a cherry. It's the kind that is light red and sour. The parrot eats it right up. You like it? Asks the lady. You like cherries, honeybird? She laughs and dumps all of the cherries onto the geranium plant in front of the parrot. There's your own little cherry tree, she says to the parrot. She stands next to the geranium in her stocking feet, eating cherries with the parrot. The parrot is careful to spit out the pits. They are both eating cherries and spitting out the pits, eating cherries and spitting out the pits. I want to ask Bidemi some questions, such as if she is sure the parrot spit out the pits, but she is already remembering a certain shoelace and a shoe. This is a shoelace, and this is a running shoe. It's going to be purple and white, and here's the other one to match. This is going to be a boy. These are his long, long legs. This boy looks a lot like my brother. He's holding on to the straps in the subway. The train is making him rock back and forth. He's reading the signs. My brother loves to read. And this boy is tall like my brother, and he has glasses like my brother. And the same kind of cap, and the same green and black jacket too. It has the orange letters from his team, and when he smiles you can see the space between his big front teeth like my brother's. In his pocket is a present. When he gets off the train at his station, he just runs right up the escalator. He runs right along the streets, jumping on and off the stoops to his house. Before he even gets up the stairs, and he can take them in just 2 steps, he's hollering to his little sister, "Hey, come on out here! See what I got for you!" And before she can even look out the window, he'll be right in the room in front of her. He'll make her choose which hand, and there'll be a cherry in that closed-up hand. And it will be the big kind, such a dark red it's almost black. His little sister will grab it and eat it up while he yells, "Don't forget to spit out the pit!" "Is that a story about you?" I ask. "No," she says, "but this one is going to be about me." And she draws herself in her favorite beret. This is me, and this is my station. I have to walk up the stairs one at a time so the bright sun that is out here in the sky won't make my eyes hurt. But right here on the street, what do you think there is going to be? A man selling cherries from the back of his truck. His whole truck is going to be cherries. Nothing but cherries. Now see this little purse? I have a little purse in my pocket with some money Mama gave me. When I show it to the man, he puts a bag on the scale and puts in some cherries. But then he goes ahead and fills it right up to the top and gives it to me. "Don't eat them up too fast," he tells me. Now what does that man think? I wasn't going to eat them up fast because I had an important plan. I walk home eating the cherries one by one and saving the pits. Eating a cherry and saving the pit. I put every one of the pits in my pocket. When I get to my street, I take them all out. I kneel right down and I poke one in the ground on the edge of our yard. Our yard is a junky old yard. It has this stump where there used to be a tree. But that tree died, and they came and cut it down and took it away. Then I poke pits in the ground all over the place. I know if I plant enough of them, at least one will grow. I pat the ground smooth, I pour some water on each pit, and I tell those pits to grow, grow, and grow. "Now, you want to see how they grow?" Bidemi asks me, but she doesn't wait for an answer. She is busy laying out all her newest markers. The green, the pink, the red, the purple, the brown, the black, and all the others. She piles up all the papers from the other stories and places a clean sheet on top. "Now watch," she says. This is the pit right here in the middle, and this is how it grows. First, it makes a little sprout that grows up. Then it makes a little root that grows down. Then that root grows more roots till the ground is full of roots down to here. The sprout grows up to be a little trunk. Branches grow out from the trunk. And from those branches, littler branches grow up into the part that is sky. The branches have dark pink buds on them. The buds open up to be light pink flowers. Then come light green leaves. But it seems like there are never going to be any cherries. Everyone is always asking, "Bidemi, when in the world are those cherries ever going to be ready to eat?" And all the time, cherries will be growing right under these leaves, so tiny and green, no one even notices them. But I work hard. I come out every single day to chase away the blue jays that are trying to steal the cherries. I chase away the dogs that try to use the yard for their business, and the kids who try to carve initials on the tree. Then, one day, I come out and the cherries are ripe. There are so many cherries, the branches reach right down to the ground. There are red cherries and dark red cherries, and cherries such a deep red, they are almost black. Then the people come out the back door and the front door and down the steps. There are enough cherries for every single one of them, and even for their friends from Nairobi and Brooklyn, Toronto and St. Paul, who come down in these airplanes. So here we all are standing in front of the airplanes, eating cherries and spitting out pits. Eating cherries and spitting out pits till we all fall down from eating so many cherries and spitting out pits. And this cherry pit and this cherry pit, and all the cherry pits start to grow until there is a whole forest of cherry pits right on our block. The end.
Wow, wasn't that such a great book? I would like you guys to think about one thing that you have in common with the main character of the story, Bidemi. For me, Bidemi seems to really love fruit, and she really wants to make sure that everybody gets lots of delicious fruit to eat. So that's one thing I have in common with Bidemi. What about you? Another challenge I have for you is to find a book in your home and read it out loud to a sibling or a parent. And if you don't have many books in your home, that's okay. I will put a link in the comments to a place where you can find lots of books online, so you can look at them from your Chromebook or your laptop, and you can read out loud that way. Thank you for joining me in Storytime. I miss you guys, and I hope to see you soon. And make sure that you are being kind to your family, make sure that you're being kind to yourself, and reading lots of good books.